the first message I sent him was after my third dinner. I was introduced to the master class, and after the whole thing, I tried UK. And I think my whole application was around 4 days. I got my visa within 4 days. Yeah.
Hello, how are you doing? Okay, this is Dr. Lindda chatting you today from from Canada. Okay, so my name is Dr. Lindda, and today I will be interviewing Usman. Usman worked with Vantage Migration a little while ago, and now he has successfully relocated. Yay! All right, and we'll be bringing him on in a short while to talk to us about his study abroad story. You know, I love those stories. So to talk to us about study abroad story, and you know what he did, how he did it, and I'm always on here. See, God, even though I have relocated myself, anytime somebody is telling their relocation story, I always pay attention. I'll just be listening. Hey, what new can I learn? God, well, you may be wondering, Dr. Lindda too, what will you learn? But most times, I learn from their stories, and I'm able to use that story to see, was there any mistake? Was there any great thing? You know, because both of them can advise, right? So any great thing, any mistake, so that I will use it to also advise Vantage Migration students whenever we have our exclusive training, all right, for Vantage Migration students. So, of course, if there's mistake, it's like, hey, see this mistake, somebody made it, don't make it. If there was something great, oh, somebody did this, you can do this as well. So, even me, I'm learning from the stories, believe it or not, and you should do the same. How do I put it? Most importantly, if you have not even relocated, if me that I've relocated, I'm still learning from the story. If you've not relocated, so you already know, you should learn from the story, right? How are you? How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me around, and thank you for the lessons and everything. Before now, yeah, I used to be in China before we spoke. And after 3 deniers trying Canada on my own, you know, the first message I sent you was after my third denier that doctor, I'm tired. This is the third time, and you know, I was introduced to the master class, and after the whole thing, I tried UK, and I think my whole application was around 4 days. Yeah, I got my visa within 4 days. Yeah.
Wow. This is your story is already inspiring from the start. I'm just going to you know, try to backtrack us to the beginning. By the way, are you married or you're single?
I'm married.
Oh, did you travel with your family?
My wife should be joining me soon, actually, because we've applied for her too.
Okay, if she's watching this video, shout out to Usman's wife. That's excellent. If you don't mind me asking, why did you decide to do it in a stepwise manner, like you come first, then she follows?
It's because I was in China, she was in Nigeria, so there was no way for us to apply together.
I see. I got it now. You're too smart.
So there was no, and I didn't want complications. So the best thing to do was for me to get mine first. So I got mine, and immediately I got mine, we started our own process too. So that's why we couldn't apply together.
Yeah. That's excellent. I especially like based on what you said before, after some denials, right? You always want to like be careful. In fact, I always tell my people, I say, if something is too complicated, see. It's like, okay, somebody is explaining something to me. I'm doing back and forth with them, right? And yet I'm confused. Think of when you go and carry all that. I'm doing back and forth. I still don't understand it. You go and carry that same information and give to visa officer who is not going to do back and forth. A confused mind is going to say no to the visa, you know? So sometimes if things are beginning to look complicated, you split the process so that you take it one at a time. Of course, you now you are here. She too, she will come and join you. Full stop. The interval may be a couple of months or as the case may be, but if it is what we guarantee success, it is better off than some people. If we don't go together, both of us must join at the airport. In fact, they will book their flight so that they will meet at transit and join at the airport and come together like as if it's like there's this story about sorry, my dad tells a lot of stories, so I like a lot of it. There's this story about tortoise that has been in a hole for a very long time, right? Like tortoise fell in. If you look at tortoise, you see that it may not have the capacity to climb out of a hole, right? Like from the way and everything. Now somebody came and dropped a ladder for tortoise, or they were talking about dropping a ladder for tortoise to climb out. Tortoise say, hurry up. The shit here is smelling too much. Hurry. It's like, guy, you've been there since you were managing that shit. So you can as well exercise patience and allow this thing to go through. You see the point? So I appreciate that. Whoa, okay. Interesting story. Now let me go back to the beginning. Introduce yourself.
My name is Ibrahim Usman. Like I said, doctor was asking if my religion the other time. I'm from a Muslim background, but I'm a Christian. I used to work in the university, Ekiti State University, actually, before I left for China, 2018. So I've been there, and because of the situation in China lately, it's been a bit trickish, and I felt, okay, it's time for me to just leave. So before the pandemic, of course, I did the express entry pool, which stopped after the pandemic. And so, the easiest. So during those times, I'd found you and I've been following you. I've not decided, but later I got to know that the easiest way to migrate now or to move now is actually through academics, anywhere we're going at all. So I started applying myself. So I did a lot of mistakes that I noticed on your page or on the class when I started with you. For instance, I had a 2-2. My 2-2 was strong actually, but not upper. And I was applying. I applied to the University of Saskatchewan. I got rejected because they said they needed 70 something cutoff mark, but mine was 67. I was shy of 3 points. So I wrote a letter back to them. I was like, please just admit me, because you cannot deny me an admission because of 3 points or something. So there was a professor who replied me and was like, the only thing you could do is to take some courses and merge to what you have before. Of course, in Nigeria, maybe that's what we call PGD or something. I don't know. But it wasn't possible for me in China to get that done. So, of course, I had another university, which was more like a professional course, Adler University in Vancouver. That was what I used in applying. So when I applied the first time, they denied me, like, we are not sure that your intention to study, blah, blah, blah. I said, why would you say my intention? Then someone said, no, it's your SOP. You need to write it, LOE, letter of explanation. You need to write it very well. You need to blah, blah, blah. So I wrote another one. I applied the second time. They denied me again. So I requested for my GCMS note. So on the GCMS note, I got to know that it was because they said, I've forgotten the reason. I can't remember. So I felt, okay, you cannot deny me because, So they said the course I had in my first degree and what I'm going for doesn't match, which I learned from your course too, that there's only the first choice, then you look for things around your first choice and apply for those things, which I was totally, I'm coming from a linguistics background, going to public administration. But because I had an experience in public administration, I was thinking my visa was going to scrape through because I was thinking as an administrator, I should qualify for a public admin, right? But then they said, no, you can, because I had linguistics and this is blah, blah. I said, no, you can't deny me. So I wrote another LOE explaining that I'm actually fit for this, blah, blah, blah. Then the third time they denied me. So I requested for my GCMS note again. And so on the GCMS note, they said, you're going to Vancouver. We are not sure you have enough money. Your documentation is vague, blah, blah, blah. you've taught an English lesson you work as an English teacher, you moved to the university as an administrator, you moved to China, you had this course, So I was like, so from there, I started noticing, I was just like, okay, it's time for me to talk to Dr. Lindda, And I talked with you the first time the reply I got was that, no, we don't want people who have gone halfway. You need to register and we restart everything. So, of course, I registered, started the program. So, of course, I got some things cleared that the first thing for me was, even if I was going to try Canada again, is for me to go for a PGD because of my result, right? Then, and even so, there were some, then at the course, you discuss about us having like 20 lists of schools you have in mind. Then you bring it down to a particular one, all those things. Then you, what was it?
Like the process.
So
I'm going to cut you right there because the processes are usually like, very, very tedious. But, I just wanted to understand the overall overview of everything that happened. Let me ask you, what made you choose China? What made you choose UK?
I chose UK training because, when I finished the training, what made me choose was that, part of the thing I learned from training was that we shouldn't just focus our attention on just one place. Then the main thing for me actually in that program was that you're an expert. You're going there to add to them. So don't look like somebody who is begging to, So I felt for me, I'd bet Canada enough. Let me look at some other places. So in fact, actually, my current university now, actually, in fact, on today's Saturday, on Thursday, another school sent me an admission letter. Like they admitted me.
From multiple denial to multiple admissions. Whoa, you're balling.
So in fact, I'm still thinking of rejecting that one now. So, so I just felt that, okay, I bet Canada enough. Let me move to. I was actually looking at Portugal or the UK. So immediately UK came, so I started the process, and that's why I'm here now, actually.
You said your visa took 4 days. Is that what you said?
Yeah, 4 days actually, because I think maybe I prioritized, but I did the priority one. But then people had complaints of always having a delay, even if they prioritize but mine was actually fast.
Excellent. Yes. Whoa. You've said so many things in this story. So let me just start breaking it down when I finish reading complexity in my head, it's like I'm digesting it like food. So I'll start breaking it down like, okay, let us go to this story and look at it again, and some of the points, points that we could get from there. First of all, you talked about 3 denials that you had before you met with Vantage Migration. And looking through like what you were saying, one of the things I could pick up was like, for example, when you said the school denied you admission, and then you wrote them and you were like, okay, like it's like, just give me this thing, that kind of stuff. So most times abroad, people don't give you things because like you ask for it. You have to, like, you demand for it. You get what I mean? Like, so when you write them, they don't feel like we've made this decision. So when you are writing, you have to prove beyond doubt that you have what you're looking for. And the thing about your grade, why? Let me tell you something again. When they deny you admission or deny you visa, they always look for something concrete to say. That's because it is demanded. Like, even on your file, they can't just put frivolous things, right? Something concrete. But most times, somebody have looked at your application and say, no, this person is not qualifying. Then they look for something concrete to say about it. You know what I'm saying? That there are so many students with third class.
Yeah.
If you're going to Canada, you have third class. Then we can start talking about the necessity of a PGD. But if you have a 2-2, 100% sure you can get a master's, right? But if we say it like that, some people they just grab it and run off with that sentence instead of really learning. Because from what you can see, for example, the way you build your CV, you're going through the training.
Yeah. I actually use the template you give me. That's my
Yeah.
new template now, actually.
That's good. So that CV, we make somebody feel like you may have had to, you have a lot of things to offer. But when you apply and your leverage is your grade, but that your grade is also not so high, it becomes a challenge, right? Then the person starts telling you your grade is not enough, go and do some courses. But if you have to, I'm telling you, even people with our class, we do back and forth with schools and still get the admission. So the person may have said something straight, right? Because they can't give you two-page explanation as to why your admission was denied. Neither will they give you expo on what to do. But somebody's holding on to grade because that's like what is most obvious. That if I tell you your grade is not enough, you can't beat me to it. It's no longer my fault. I pushed the fault to you. But somebody else have even a lower grade because 67, as you said, is I'm telling you, it's there's no So anyway, that just especially I had to clarify that, especially for anybody that is watching us, so that they don't go thinking that because a school said admission was denied because of 2-2, if they have 2-2, they can't go for masters. Because, like for example, we talk of the additional training. Do you get what So if you have a low grade, even the importance of the additional training becomes more like they become more important compared to maybe somebody that have first class. You see, so some people don't know about additional training and how to get it and what to really put on their CV, because you have, it's like you have a grade. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't go back to school. Like you can't change that grade, but you can change everything around the grade. And the grade and those things we buffer the grade now to
compensate for that grade.
Compensate. That's the word. Compensate. So that's why we start saying that your grade is about 30%. 70% is your document, right? Is the other documents you are submitting, your SOP, your CV, how those things look. We help them judge the grade. If they look like the grade, then they'll say this is who you are. If they look excellent, they'll say something must have happened while you were in school. You see, so and but tracing more on that, I was chatting with somebody yesterday. So a client of mine, she applied for MBA. So they gave her the admission, but they gave her a conditional admission. She doesn't really have specific book-wise business background. So they were like, you have to do GRE or GMAT. That's the condition of the admission. So last night when we were talking, because I was like, you know what to do, right? So write them back and negotiate for this waiver. So when she was telling me last night, I was just shouting. I was on my couch. I was like, yes, give it to them, give it to them. Because if you see the letter she drafted, Jesus, she gave them 4 reasons with evidence why she deserves the waiver, right? And finish and say you should. She was not telling you like consider the merit of everything I've said in comparison with your need for GMAT. When I saw it, first of all, they replied that same yesterday. Yesterday was Friday. Wow. Yeah, they replied that same yesterday, and they said so about 3 people replied that when they will take her email and forward it to the next person. Like somebody else will say, we've gotten your stuff. They forwarded it to the head of the department of the business MBA. So the department head now said something like he was going to take a look at her file again and reply. I was telling her, I said, because the department, if you see the email the department head right there, you sent to her, you will, even me, I knew that they will grant this waiver. They just don't want to do it so quick so that you will not say, so you could grant these things. Why were you disturbing me? But 4 major reasons. Plus, if you see backing and the way the person organized it, I was shouting. I was like, I should pop champagne for you. I know that admission is coming. I know because of what she sent to them. So even if a school says so, like, but you can write them and say, please give me this admission. It's like you're begging. You know what I mean? Like nobody will give you admission because you say, please give me this admission. It's when you prove beyond doubt that you really deserve this admission. It's like saying you have made a mistake. You did not see this. You did not see this. You did not see this. And another thing you said was like the background discrepancies most times, even when you, like, for example, you said you had a background in public administration.
No, linguistics. But my
Yeah,
work
no,
that I
I mean,
did was
that's your
an
academic background.
administrator. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You had a work
Administrator.
experience as an administrator, right?
Yeah, yes,
And you are going
yes.
for public administration. The whole point is that
Yeah.
you can go for programs that are related to your course, to your work. That's okay. But if I look at your CV and see that, or CV is okay. Somebody can just look at it, but let me just put it this way. If I look at your CV and see that you had linguistics BSc, right? And maybe you've worked as administrator and all that, and you are now going for this public administration, even the CV may not say clearly, especially as of then and the type of CV that it was, it may not be obvious. Because if you are going for any course that is debating, but you know that you have experience for, you will have to bring that experience forward, right? You will have to, that like, for example, I don't know if you took our visa class, but when we start talking about the letter to the visa officer, explaining why, you actually have to explain how this program is related to what you have.
I sent a couple of mails because I was in China and Facebook doesn't work in China. So I had issues joining the what's it called, the Facebook masterclass.
It's okay.
Group.
That's fine.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
That's fine. I see what we've improved now. We've improved now. So we've moved to a better platform and all that. So I hope that somebody else from China is not going to have that problem. But like the whole point is that missing. I had somebody that she's a doctor. She was going for occupational health. They denied her visa because they said both of them are not related. But she knows that they are related. But in reality, the reason they denied her visa is that she did not show that the two are related. So the missing link is the explanation there. She did not show that the two of them are related, which she didn't even need to get another admission because she knew that, hey, this is the problem after her GCMS note. She just wrote them again, reapplied and wrote them, and then explained the connection. Because, like one would imagine, if you're a doctor and you are going for public occupational health, I mean, it doesn't look related, top of, like, straight up. But when you explain and why you are going for that course, then it becomes clearer for the visa officer to believe what you're saying. So so some things that may not be clearly linked can be linked with the right explanation. Again, most times when I say somebody will say no be explanation, the same way we bring. They'll go out something else and then it becomes a problem. So good. So thank you. I just wanted to talk a little bit about those denials, and some of the things that would have led to them. So the other thing I picked up from your story is that you applied from China. Sometimes, especially like with your wife being in another location as well, like it's like you are thinking of immigration. The spouses, they are in different locations. Some people, they will feel like, oh, how am I going to go about this? But I really, just like I said before, I really love the fact that you decided to break it down, one after the other for everybody. You don't want to start having denial for any reason.
No.
I've seen past students that they were doing relocation and they applied for themselves and their wife like at the same time and they got it. But I would be more comfortable with what you did because what you did show is like, I don't want thing. I don't want 50. I always want to do something that, even if I'm going to miss the visa, let it be that it was a mistake I could not correct. But once something is 50-50 in my mind, I don't want to put it forward, So it was a very wise decision to decide to separate the two applications. Yes, it was a very wise decision. And it shows patience. It shows patience. As I said, some people, they will just be like, no, if we're not going together, calm down. You've been away from your spouse for even maybe 6 months, 1 year. Is it the 1 month interval now, which I was giving the total story? Is it the 1 month interval that that you cannot wait for? You see. So that's really good. And so I know you've mentioned a little bit of this, but let me ask you specifically. What was of all the things at Vantage Migration, from the training, What was your major takeaway?
Actually, I said it. The way I think actually it's always different from the way people think. Even when I read things I grasped from book, sometimes the way I reason it's different. For me, the major thing for me was actually I learned a lot of things that I've spoken about, but the major one for me that I won't forget in a long time is the mindset. Carry that mindset of an expert rather than for me, like I'm begging you for this thing. In as much as I want it, I now I have a better understanding that I'm coming to contribute something. So I don't know. So that's the mind actually. Since I got here last week, I'd had a couple of employers call me already because that mindset is what I'm using. I was supposed to have an interview on Friday, actually, that I postponed. I was like, I'm not ready. Let me come on Monday. And they said, yeah, we'll give you another time on Monday, But if we were to be before, probably if I didn't meet you or my orientation was not changed, I would be like, no, I need this thing. You need to go. You need, that was my thinking.
And you may end up going unprepared.
Yeah. So, but now I take my time with that mindset of like, I'm coming to add to you. I'm an expert, So that's the major thing for me actually. That's that one for me.
Hey,
that's the major thing for me.
You know what? You know why I'm shocked? First, you're not the first person to say this thing. I don't. And our mindset training is just like, okay, like 1 week, but mostly like one class, Like, but a lot of people, I'm so shocked when they say, oh, what did you take away? The mindset. Because and it's right at the beginning, and it's so powerful, right? Because for me too, it changed a lot of things for me. But like what is interesting for what you're saying now is that sometimes, and I've had to say this with some people, sometimes people feel like, why should I come for this training when I can get admission? But they are missing the point. It's not just about the admission. You can actually get what will help you to settle properly when you arrive the country. Do you get what I mean? Because it's not just, okay, I've got an admission, I've gone. When you reach there, other problems are going to just face you, and then you have to start battling them. For example, job. For example, how do you discuss with an employer? Well, even your CV. Some people will tell me that, they've arrived though, they'll be looking for a job. Nobody's really calling them back. You'll just get the lowest job. I've had students who finished our program with their new CV that they were able to construct. Like one of the ladies, she was getting interviewed before she landed in UK, for example. She was already getting, because she started applying before she traveled. So she was getting interviewed. They were not saying, you're not in UK yet. When are you coming? So it was almost like employers were waiting to interview her. And she was telling me that one thing she noticed was that when she got on those interviews, most times they will not even be interviewing her. Instead, they will start talking about salary, which is more like, we are okay with you. How much you want to collect? That kind of stuff. But why were they that okay? Her CV was saying so much. Like many of the things people will get on interview to know about you, she already said that on her CV. Like she already gave it to them on her CV. You get what I mean? So when she submit the CV, when they ask her for interview now becomes about salary discussion, or like how much they are going to pay her and all that. She actually told me that I interviewed her one time. So learning how to do this thing is not just about learning how to get admission and scholarship. That some of the skills are transferable. That's what they call it, transferable skills. Like some people, they will say, okay, you've gotten admission. What happens at the port of entry? How are you going to deal with the landlord? How are you going to deal with the employer if you don't even know how these things work or what is expected of you? But just even that mindset alone can transform every other thing you are doing. And that could be the reason, that could be the difference between somebody who went abroad and 3 years later, there is almost nothing to show for it except that they're able to work and pay their bills, right? Versus another person who traveled abroad and is thriving. People are abroad, but they're not thriving. Do you get what I mean? They're not thriving. They just have a job and they pay for their stuff. So the difference is that mindset.
Yeah.
The difference
Yeah.
is that mindset. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you grabbed that. Thank you. I'm glad that you grabbed that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Then the other thing I love about your story as well was the idea of not putting, the idea of being flexible. Like when you were saying that, okay, you already tried Canada before you came in contact with us. And at that point, you were like, okay, let's you try another country. So I always used to tell people, I say, you are insisting you are going to US. You are insisting you are going to UK. You are insisting you are going to Australia. You are insisting you are going to Canada. You are not the owner of the land, though. So permanent interest, no permanent country. You get like permanent interest, no permanent country, no permanent route. So it's always good to be flexible. I used to tell, sometimes I'll tell people, I say, if you come to Vantage Migration, just, it's like, let your mind be plastic. Let it be, something, you should be flexible, because if you're like, some people will say, imagine somebody telling me, I want to get admission on full scholarship in University of Waterloo. How do I do it? If it's not University of Waterloo now, if it's not University of Waterloo now.
I can remember that was part of your first class or the second course, the second class, talking about dropping everything you know before to really learn this, that flexibility. I can remember some of those classes well.
That's interesting, because it helps. It helps at the end of the day. Somebody else is there 3 years, they're looking for one particular country that is still denying them visa. Another person have moved on, and they moved on to another country. In that same 2 years or 3 years, they even have so much money earning in pounds or dollars or whatever the case may be, that they are even able to just move to the other country they want to move to with ease. Another person is still head bent on, if not be this country, I know they go. In fact, the person, imagine, they say, you want to go to that country, it must be on scholarship. It must be from a particular state. Now your father get her. One lady, God, I've seen human beings. I'm telling you, this is a real life story. I'm not even making it up. A lady came to me and said, funny enough, this is some of the things. Okay, I'll cut some of the story, but she said, oh, Dr. Lindda, when I signed up for this class, you told me I'll be able to get study loan. I'm like, yeah. Okay, cool. Like in my mind, that would not be a problem now. What could it be? I'm going to help you solve it, right? So I started talking with her for over 30 minutes. At the end of the 30 minutes, I was like, I'll give you a refund. I'll give you a refund, because I felt like, so, okay, what was the real thing? She applied for admission, she got it. But that school is not loan eligible. The school is in UK, it's not loan eligible. So, in my mind, this is not a problem. There are other type of loan we can get, or you can even restructure to another country or something like that in a loan eligible school, blah, 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 blah. She said, no. I was like, in fact, because of the nature, it was a sensitive thing. Me too, I was already getting angry. I was like, okay, what's your course? In my head, don't worry, I'm going to go and look for schools now that are loan eligible for this particular course. That's the kind of mindset. What's your course? I think she was reading something, maybe biomedical something, I can't remember, but what was your course? She then said no, that she looked at the curriculum of this particular school she applied to in UK.
That's what she
see the point. She's not interested in getting admission in any other school in UK or any other school in any other country, because of the curriculum of a particular school. So, and now it's not even that she have her money. She has to take this admission from this school, and we have to help her find loan for the school. I said to myself, winch, they don't come. I said, madam, I'll give you some fund. Like, we don't even do that. Like, we don't even do that. Like, it's almost because we have reform policy and all that, right? But in this case, because I was too angry, I didn't know how to handle this matter, because I'm like, I don't think this person wants to travel. Be like saying that something else. Like, most times I listen to my intuition. I was like, madam, take my own money, take. Before God and man, the lady finished my masterclass 5 months after. We don't do that. That reform, we have our reform policy, 7 days money back guaranteed. But I went out of my way to refund. She got admission. She did not get loan. And she's not ready to check any other school because she's checked the curriculum of this. I was like, my spirit was just like, there's something here that I'm not aware of. Maybe somebody is looking for how to spoil my name or something. Like, because it didn't even make sense to me.
Wow.
So that is like one of the longest refunds that we've made. 5 months after my training, got admission, came back to collect her money back that if we can't find a loan for this school. I was like, you have so much impetus like this. Now you don't get the money to pay for the admission where you get. Go in, right? And that will solve the whole problem. Now you don't get the money. Now you anyways, like it's not easy dealing with humans, so thank God we can still keep this smile. So many things behind the scene, my dear. Thank you. So what's the advice? Today let's advise maybe people that are in different countries with their spouse and they are looking to relocate. Since that is your own specific situation, at least you will remember maybe how you felt, or maybe some of the discussions that went on behind the scene before you made the choice you made and all that. So advice.
I think like when you were speaking now, I was thinking to myself too that probably if I'd met you before my 3 deniers, probably I would have considered some other places after the first denial. I would have been more open, right? So my advice is for everyone looking at after joining of course, once you join the class, you learn a lot. Then my own advice is we should be flexible with this thing. Like it's part of the things you learn in the class. Like, you know, we want some places actually. For me, I don't know. I have the love for Canada. I don't know why. I just wanted Canada. But you know, but after the class, I was more open. I was more flexible with my thing. So that's the number one thing. Then another thing that I think was part of it is that we need to be thorough with our documentation. Like we need to be, you know, the CV, everything was synchronized. Like everything was gelled together, you know. So that's another thing. Then, of course, so in fact, for me, if you remember, I sent a message sometimes because I missed it at a place. I was thinking the course was going to be open for me for life. So I didn't save some documents. So another advice is please once you are doing the lesson, any material that is made available to you, just download them and keep for your personal use. For me, I did that mistake actually. I didn't save them. I just opened them, closed them. So when I needed them again, some are already gone. So
I see your point.
Yeah.
I see your, so because we give you like documents that you need. We give you samples. We give you machines and all that thing.
And everything. Yeah. So
good.
For me,
I see what
I
you
did
mean.
that mistake actually. I didn't. I was thinking, anytime I need it, I'll have access to it. I'll come. So I want to just advise people, once you're on it, any material you're given, any website, make sure you save them and keep them. You know, be meticulous about your documentation. That's very, very important. And you know, like I said, the most important thing too is like, you know, the schools, they need us too. They need us. It's not like you are begging them, like you have that begging mindset. You need to know that, okay, I'm going there to contribute to my own quota too. You need to be professional in your doing it. So I think that's my advice actually. It is doable. You need to be flexible. It's doable. It's just having the right information to do what you need, right? So I think that's just my advice actually.
Okay. Thank you so much, Usman. Thank you for taking out time to come. And
thank you for having me.
Yes, wishing you big jobs, you know, lucrative jobs. Especially as this is just your 1 week in UK now, as you said, right? I pray that you get bigger jobs and you know, jobs that you really like and all that. And I will also say that now this, how do I put it, especially maybe during the summertime, when school may not even be so active, depending on your program. Some programs are very intense. Some you actually have summer. You know, some school structure is so that you have your summer break. So for summer, this is a good that would be a good time to to travel to other places, including UK, Canada, including US, including other European countries as well. Because sometimes you maybe from another country or thereabouts, you apply for visa, they don't give you. But once you are in one of those top 5 countries, like Australia, New Zealand, UK, US, Canada, it's like let me say that their own clique is a clique, right? So because of that, once you're in one of them and you have a status in one of them and you're applying to travel to another one, you easily get the visa. Like I know students that are studying in UK, but maybe they did their internship in US. At least one person comes to my mind right now. So and same goes for Canada. So even if you still want to visit Canada, which of course Canada is a great country. For example, during summer, you can just apply to if you apply to maybe an internship somewhere, for example, and you say, oh, I want to come to Canada to do 3 months internship, you easily get that kind of visa. And usually when they're giving you the visa, they won't give you 3 months visa. They will give you like 3 years visa. You see so now that can open you the opportunity of going and coming to Canada even if or to any other country as well, depending on the country that you like or the person that's watching us now. Use this opportunity to travel more. The least is travel to an European country. Go to Paris.
No, honestly, I definitely checked the flight ticket to Paris. Actually.
Whoa, I'm a soothsayer.
I actually changed. I checked it around TOEFL. The one I got is around 120, 130 pounds.
It's very cheap because now all the countries are very close, right? Let's say you are in Europe, all the countries are very close. And what it will cost you to go to Paris, but some people they don't think about it, right? And because they don't think about it, they never check to see how cheap it is. Right? And now unlike before, where if you're applying, it's like they will say, for example, now, what's the guarantee that you come back? When somebody know you are studying in UK, that's already like a hold. They know you will come back. You're studying in UK, so now you have a student status, right? So you use that student status to do the visa application. Most of the things they will need, you already have them, like your admission letter, which you already have, maybe where you stay, which you already have, maybe health insurance, which may even come with your student stuff, right? Like maybe things you already paid already. Like your health insurance. So almost everything that they need, you already have them. What is basically going to be costing you is that money, let's say, to pay for hotel and they have all these bed and breakfast kind of places, and you don't have to stay 1 year or 3 months there. You can go to a place and stay 1 week and go back home. But what's happening is that you're opening up your passport. So you will see somebody studied in UK before they finish, and the 2 years they've gone to 5 countries. Another person never talked about traveling, even though that travel was like very close to them. So make use of that opportunity. Open up your passport. Once your passport is open, many of these countries that look like they are masquerades and you can't enter, boom, like the whole door is thrown wide to you. And let me say something. Do you know why they keep saying, let's say for Nigerians and sub-Saharan Africa, for example, they keep saying, let's see if we can use one currency. Let's see if the border can be open. What do they usually cite when they say that? Economic growth. For economic boom, right? They will say, free trade, so let's cross border. So what I'm trying to explain is that once you have the capacity to go and come to anywhere you want to go to, even if it's not visa free, it's like if you apply for the visa, you get it. It just triples your economic prowess, your ability to close a deal may be happening in God knows wherever it is. Let's say somebody invites you to US. Do you know there are people that they've gotten all expenses paid invitation, yet they couldn't go. They missed out on that thing because they couldn't get the visa. Do you get what I mean? So being able to open up your passport in such a way that anywhere you want to go around the world, boom, you apply and you get the visa, even if it's not visa free, is something that an individual can add to their portfolio, and it can really help them in life. So take advantage of it and travel more. If you're going to Canada, let me know. I'll be happy to host. I'll be happy to host.
Of course.
Whoa. Did you listen to this interesting interview? Oh, I love it. Thank you so much, Usman. I know you're still watching. Thank you so much, Usman, for coming. Thank you for watching us from the beginning to this time, right? And it was really interesting. I learned a lot too. Like, I like Usman's open-mindedness to this whole process. I like how he's open to learn. You know, some people, they'll just feel like, I'm big, I'm married. What can you possibly teach me? Like, even me, I'm still learning. So what will that pride do for you when you can just drop the pride and go and learn something what you want to learn, you know? So learn, open your mind, learn from other people. If something is not working, try something else. Like you know that thing they say that madness is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Do you remember that saying? So how is it that you have gotten one visa denial or admission denial, second one, and you're not even still thinking that, hey, let me go and learn something else. Let me go and learn how to do this thing. All right? So don't, especially if you have had one visa, one denial. Of course, I don't want you to have denial, right? I've been to 13 countries so far and no denial, no visa denial. But if you have even gotten one denial, ting bom is enough. It's no longer time for ting bom. It's not. When I say ting bom, somebody corrected me. I say it's tum bom. Hey God, I was like, hey, whoa. So this one said people had the corrective. Okay, let me use my version. There's no reason for you to do ting bom anymore if you have even gotten one visa denial. Please. Of course, if you learn before then, it's better for you, right? Now, let me say something else. Even if I can't stay here and tell you that 100% of people that go through Vantage get their visa approved at the first instance. It's not true, right? We are working towards 100% visa approval, but our percentage is very high. And even if you don't get it at the first time, or you know exactly what to do to reapply, and we also work with you. If you're a Vantage immigration student and you've gotten visa denial, you should be running to my email inbox right away, right? Like, ask for help. Don't go all alone. Ask for help. That's it. Okay, so, but now think about it. If you go through a training and you still get visa denial, what would have happened to you if you were not trained? Worse, maybe visa ban you'll be getting. This is the point. So the training will always help. It will always help. Let's call a spade a spade. I can't stay here and tell you that it's 100%. It's not 100%. It's not 100% at first trial. It's not 100%. We've had people that have had visa denial, right? Visa denial, but they've had visa denial. I even interviewed some of them here. They've had visa denial. What will happen? They will try again. They know what to do. They know what to correct, and they will get it. That's how it works. Okay, so get trained. It will always help. And just in case you did not take note of what I said, if you go through Vantage migration and you get a visa denial, think of what would have happened if you had no training. Think of it. Don't look at it like, but I see my visa was denied the first time now. What would have happened if you had no training? So many bad things my brain can't contemplate on right now. So get trained. Of course, for people that are looking for how to get started, you can start with our free study abroad webinar at www.vantagemigration.ca. www.vantagemigration.ca. I'll also include the link to the description of this video. All right? www.vantagemigration.ca. And if you need to chat with us, chat us inbox on Instagram at Dr. Lindda Iheme. Chat us inbox. That's the fastest, easiest way to communicate with us directly, and we'll be able to directly, even if you did not get this link or you have other questions, chat us inbox. at Dr. Lindda Iheme is a verified page, inbox, not on the page, inbox, and we'll be able to answer you. We both